It was a cold, cloudy morning when Deli, a middle-aged man with a weary face and heavy heart, sat on a bench in the city park. Life had not been easy for him. He had worked hard for years, but success seemed like a distant dream. He felt as though everything was slipping through his fingers, his job, his relationships, and most painfully, his sense of purpose. As he sat there, lost in thought, an elderly man walked by, his face warm with kindness despite his frail steps. He looked at Deli, smiled gently, and sat next to him. "Good morning, my son," the old man said in a voice full of wisdom and comfort. Deli barely nodded, unsure of why a stranger would want to talk to him. But the old man continued, unbothered by Deli's silence. "You look burdened, like the weight of the world is on your shoulders," he observed kindly. Deli sighed, finally responding, "I just don't understand why everything in life feels so empty. I try so hard but nothing seems to work. It's as if the more I struggle, the less I have." The old man smiled again, as if he knew exactly what Deli was feeling. Sometimes we find our greatest purpose not in what we seek to receive, but in what we give. Deli frowned. "What do you mean?" "Giving," the old man said softly, "is where true happiness begins. Have you ever thought that maybe your search for fulfillment isn't about taking, but about giving?" Deli's heart felt a stir, but he was still skeptical. He had given before, his time, his energy, but it never seemed to change much. Before he could respond, the old man reached into his bag and handed Deli a small, worn-out Bible. "Here, take this and read Matthew 6 verse 21. It might give you some answers." With that, the old man stood up, gave Deli one last knowing smile, and walked away, leaving Deli alone with his thoughts and the Bible in his hands. Curiosity got the better of him, and he opened it to the verse the man mentioned. "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Deli read the verse over and over again, its meaning slowly sinking in. His treasure, his heart. Could it be that all his efforts had been focused on the wrong things? He had been seeking success, recognition, and material comfort, but none of those things had brought him peace. Suddenly, a young boy appeared, tugging at Deli's sleeve. "Mister, do you have $1? I'm trying to buy bread for my family." Deli's first instinct was to brush the boy away. He had always been careful with his money, especially now that his finances were tight. But something in the boy's eyes reminded him of his own struggles. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a few coins, and handed them to the boy. "Thank you, mister." The boy beamed and ran off. Deli felt something strange stir inside him, a flicker of joy. It wasn't the usual fleeting happiness he got from buying something new or achieving a small success. This joy felt deeper, richer. For the first time in a long while, he felt connected to something greater than himself. Over the next few weeks, Deli decided to test the old man's words. Every day he found small ways to give. Whether it was helping a neighbor carry groceries, donating clothes he no longer needed, or simply offering a kind word to someone who seemed down. With each act of kindness, something remarkable began to happen. The heaviness in his heart started to lift. The emptiness that had once consumed him was slowly being replaced with a quiet, but profound, sense of peace. One day, Deli was walking down the street when he saw a man struggling to push his car that had broken down. Without thinking, Deli rushed over to help. Together they managed to push the car to safety.